For example, I had a hard time talking about sex. I felt embarrassed. Why? Because it is extreme connection. In my family, there was no connection. I had learned connection is bad. Why? Because being seen was bad. Why? Because I was abused physically, and that made me hate myself. Self hate equaled the inability to connect with myself, which equaled the inability to connect with others. My sexuality was reduced to carnality. I had nothing but lust, which is misaligned desire. At least that's how I conceptualize it. Nick, thoughts or reactions to this comment?
Yeah, it's a lot of self-awareness there. His, just reverse engineering, the actions back to the thoughts. Like thoughts create actions, and faith can drive behavior, and fear can drive behavior. And whether someone's Christian or not, God has created the world ordered in such a way that there's a way things work. There's a way thoughts work. There's a way that words have power. And it's just really interesting. There's probably a lot of thoughts here, but just how the occult has kind of, or the new age world has kind of commandeered or taken a lot of, I think, actual principles of Christianity and how God has ordered the world and kind of twisted them a little bit, where I become the center of everything. It's I think, therefore I am, a little bit of Descartes stuff. And so you know, anyways, but I just want to highlight especially his awareness of, he had a hard time talking about sex and he felt embarrassed. Why? Because sex is like the extreme form of connection. And in his family, there was no connection. He learned that it was bad. And why did he learn that it was bad? Because being seen was bad. Why was being seen was bad? Because he was abused. And that led to self hatred. And just that why question is really important. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Well, let's engage the thoughts. Like his human behavior is fascinating. What people do is interesting. What people say is interesting. What people think is interesting. But why we do what we do, why we say what we say, why we think what we think, and engage in your story. So much of the work we do with guys is helping them engage their story, making sense of their story, and then growing in self compassion and kindness towards themselves, because I think we talked about it last week. Contempt and self hatred is a crippling, device of the enemy that we start, that and then it just kind of cripples ourselves. So, generative principle, I'm just really encouraged by, really honestly, the journey you're on, the very honest journey he's
Yeah.
on. What about you?
Yeah, I love it. The two things that come to mind for me really are in line with what you said, but maybe at a higher level, or I mean, this is a level of complexity. I think that reveals the curiosity
Yeah,
and the pursuit of truth that he's journeying towards, which is really beautiful.